What's up guys, Chris VA Travels. Got up nice and early, shot down here to Richmond to visit the Freda KHALO exhibit. I'm at the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts. All right guys, here we go. Ticket is for 10 o'clock. That's the same time they open. Before I get going, I'll tell you a little bit about Freda. She was a Mexican artist, probably the world's most famous female artist. She painted a lot of portraits and a lot of selfies. Her work was inspired by nature and her native Mexican culture. She painted in a naive folk art style that mixed realism with fantasy. A lot of her work dealt with identity, post-colonialism, gender, class, and race in Mexican society. This is her at 4 years old in 1911. Family photo from 1926, and here she's wearing her father's three-piece suit, and you can see she's already got that famous gaze staring into the camera. Portrait Freda did of her first boyfriend, Alejandro Gomez Arias. They were schoolmates that met in 1922, and he was with her and was injured as well in that bus crash that left Freda dealing with medical problems for the rest of her life. Here she is at the age of 18. And I'll let you know, at the age of 6, she was diagnosed with polio. It caused one of her legs to be thinner than the other, causing her to walk with a limp for the rest of her life. And one of the reasons why she quite often wore long dresses. Urban landscape. She painted this one in 1925, and as a young artist, she embraced modernity and technological advancement in the urban environment. Pencil drawing that was done in 1926 of her bus accident, and to let you know, the accident occurred September 17th, 1925, and doctors didn't expect her to survive. Injuries included a fractured spine, broken ribs, broken collarbone, dislocated shoulder, crushed right foot, and multiple fractures in her right leg. This one was done in 1932. It's just ink on paper. It's untitled, but as you see, it's dealing with her miscarriage. And the miscarriage occurred while she was in Detroit. As you see, she's weeping as she's holding a heart-shaped painter's palette, possibly implying that her paintings will be her only offspring. Freda did this one with Lucien Bloch, circa 1932. It's called Exquisite Corpses. The concept of exquisite corpse became popular with French surrealists in the 1920s. It involves collaboration between artists who add a drawing to build by section a larger composition without seeing the portion produced by their collaborator. Yeah, as you see, the results can be pretty bizarre. The Dream, again done in 1932, and it's a dream landscape that incorporates elements central to her travels in the United States in the 1930s. You'll see the building in the upper left. It's most likely the Fisher Building in Detroit. Sketch for Luther Burbank's Portrait, 1931. It's a posthumous portrait of botanist and horticulturalist Luther Burbank, and he revolutionized agricultural science. This was done by her husband Diego Rivera in 1930. This was done in 1944. It's oil on Mesonite with an original painted shell frame, and created on the 15th anniversary of the relationship. shows Diego and KHALO united with the faces conjoined and their necks bound together with barren vine. Here she is with her sister Christina, and years later, Freda's husband Diego tried to date her. This candid image was captured by Julian Levy, and she hosted Freda's first solo show, and it's rumored that the two were lovers. Captured by Lucien Bloch, this is Freda in front of Diego's unfinished Communist Unity panel. This was taken in Mexico City by probably Mexico's most famous photographer, Manuel Alvarez Bravo, and you can see the expanse of the studio through the reflection in the globe. Called A View of New York, sketching by Freda in 1932, captures the New York skyline from the window of the Barbizon Plaza Hotel. Photographed here in front of one of her most famous paintings, The Two Fredas, done in 1939. Double self-portrait. On the right, she's wearing a Tuana dress, showing off her Mexican heritage. On the left, she's wearing a white-laced European dress. Her father was German, her mother was Mexican. Mesoamerican object found in one of her homes, and she would use objects like this for inspiration in her work. This one's called My Dress Hangs Here, painted between 1933 and 1938. And it's in response to the destruction of her husband's Rockefeller Center mural that had a depiction of Lenin. And it emphasizes the nonsensical nature of social norms in the United States by juxtaposing elements of a high and low culture. Watercolor called A View of Central Park, the Zoo, done in 1932, and it's a wintry landscape of New York Central Park. And they say the barren trees and the view downward suggest her mental state at the moment. Nice tin plate frame on this one, but done in 1938, it's called The Survivor. The Suicide of Dorothy Hale, 1939. Dorothy was a failing actress who in 1938 jumped to her death from the 16th-story window of her apartment at the Hampshire House Hotel. Here's Dorothy right here. This is her with one-time boyfriend artist Heinz Berggren. And according to Google Search Assistant, she also had dated Leon Trotsky. Freda with blue satin blouse, taken in 1939 by American-born Hungarian Nicholas Murray. This one was also taken by Nicholas Murray, this time in 1941, and it's called Freda with Cigarette. Freda with Olmeca figurine, 1939. It's a pretty famous picture of her, and it looks like all of these are from the Nicholas Murray Gallery, but it was snapped in 1939, and it's simply called Freda on White Bench, and taken in New York. and I feel like Icelandic musical artist Björk took inspiration from her. This is a nice one she did a little bit later in her career, called Magnolias, painted in 1945. Sun here with the third eye has KHALO's facial features, and the surrounding plants are in the form of wounds. Cotton embroidered blouse is typical of those worn by the Otomi women, and the Otomi were an indigenous people from central Mexico. (1951), wearing a plaster corset, and you'll see she was a pretty committed communist. Still Life, painted in 1952, and it looks like later in her career she had backed off the self-portraits. But KHALO rejected the traditional concept of still life. Rather, she saw subjects as being fully alive. At this point in her life, she could only paint lying down, so here she is propped up on pillows, painting that still life. Pueblo de Los Angeles, 1952, colored pencil on paper. Dog with a corn cob, done by an unknown artist, circa 200 BC to 300 AD. This is her birthplace in Mexico City, also known as the Blue House. It now serves as a museum. It's also where she grew up. She lived here several years with her husband Diego, and it's also where she died. Yeah, died in 1954 in one of the rooms on the upper floor. Her deathbed portrait in Coyoacan, New Mexico. And the last words in her diary read, "I hope the leaving is joyful, and I hope to never return." This is something Diego drew a year after her death. Obviously, here she is in her studio. And to close it out, I'll show you around the gift shop. that's it for the Freda exhibit. I'm going to be back down here to take a tour of the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts, also the Virginia History Museum right across the way. But yeah, I'm going to get out of here. As always, like and subscribe. See you guys in the next one.